It's the end of an era for the Montreal Canadiens as Brendan Gallagher, for the first time in his NHL career, will no longer be suiting up for the club, as he's been dealt to the Vancouver Canucks with 50% retention on his deal in exchange for future considerations. So let's talk about why this deal happened first. Brendan Gallagher, he's a 34-year-old winger in the final year of his contract, making $6.5 million. And he really struggled in his final year with the Canadiens and found himself on the outside of the lineup, being a healthy scratch for the majority of the playoffs for the Habs. And it was pretty clear that his future is just no longer in Montreal. During the Habs' end-of-season media availability, he admitted to the reporters that he knew his time in Montreal had come to an end, and so they started trying to work on a deal to give him an opportunity to extend his NHL career and get minutes for a team. One team that was suggested was the Canucks, and that has come to fruition here. So on the Canucks angle of this here, you're getting a heart and soul player in Brendan Gallagher who, one thing you can never question is his work ethic on the ice. Only 7 goals, 16 assists last year, but he's going to get more ice time on the Canucks, and maybe he can bounce back to that 15-goal form. The Canucks are rebuilding, so he doesn't have to have a huge bounce back or anything for this team. But the more important aspect to this, in my opinion, is actually the off-ice impact that Gallagher could have on the Canucks. They're a young team that's going through a rebuild now. They've had so much turmoil with the Pettersson and Miller beef, overall just mismanagement, and then the Quinn Hughes situation last year. And I think it's clear that they need a culture shock. And having a veteran that can show the young players how to become professionals at the NHL level and become a leader in that locker room, it's something that you can't use any metric or statistic to show the value of. And that's what Brendan Gallagher can bring to this team. I actually forgot about this, but he was the captain of the Vancouver Giants when he played junior there for 4 seasons. So maybe the transition to Vancouver will be easier for him. And as a Montreal fan, I really hope that Gallagher succeeds in Vancouver, has a bounce-back season. He's only 1 season removed from a 20-goal year with the Habs in 2025. And then ultimately, hopefully he can get another contract extension, hit that 1,000-game mark, finish off his career on a high note. And on the Montreal side of this, $6.5 million in the press box. You can't really have that. It sucks to retain 50%, but you're still freeing up nearly $3.5 million. This gives the Habs over $14 million to work with this offseason. They don't have too many notable contracts to hand out, but if they want to build on last season and continue to improve this team, you need to have cap flexibility, and we'll see what the Canadiens can do here. It seems like they're interested in basically every player that's available that could fill a top 6 role, so we'll see if they can pull anything off here. It really sucks to lose Gallagher. He's my all-time favorite player. He was really the heart and soul of the Canadiens while he was here, and I'm sure he's going to get a massive standing ovation when he comes back to the Bell Center. So overall, I think this is a pretty good deal for both teams. It works out. There was also another trade today. The Canadiens sent Joshua Waugh to the Utah Mammoth in exchange for a left-shot defenseman, Maximilian Zuber. This is a pretty minor deal. We've seen a couple of them from Kent Hughes here. He traded Brett Berard for William Trudeau. Joshua Waugh was a player who showed some flashes of becoming a legitimate top 9 piece in the NHL. He had 9 points in 23 games in the 23-24 season, was looking like he was going to push for a roster spot the next year and become a full-time NHLer. But it seems like Joshua Waugh has some issues when it comes to his motivation, work ethic. There was a point last season where he was supposed to show up for a autograph session with fans and he just skipped it or something. At least it was rumored, so I don't want to say that with 100% confidence, but it's clear, Joshua Waugh, he just doesn't have a place on this team. He was given opportunities, but was never really able to run with it. And so maybe he can fill into the bottom 6 in Utah one day, but I think he's probably just a career AHLer at this point. And they get back a soon-to-be 24-year-old, 6'3", 220-pound left-shot defenseman in Zuber. And basically what I've read, this guy's just a decent two-way D in the minors. Probably not going to play a game for the Canadiens next season, barring injuries. So just an interesting deal here. Change of scenery for Waugh. We'll see how it works out. And there's 2 more deals I just want to quickly touch on. So the first one, the Panthers acquired the rights to Radko Gudas in exchange for the rights to AJ Greer, as the Anaheim Ducks are looking to take a run at signing AJ Greer to what sounds like a long-term contract extension. Greer had a solid season, 17 goals, 32 points. I'd definitely be cautious if I was Pat Verbeek and the Ducks on handing this guy too much money, because he's basically been a career 4th liner who has actually put up solid results. But handing him 4 to 5 years at like $3 to $4 million, If that's what he's going to get, I feel like this is not a great move from them. Due to all the injuries this year, Greer was given way more opportunity than he ever has been in his career, playing nearly 3 full minutes per game more than in previous seasons. So definitely buyers beware there on the Ducks end. And for the Panthers, Gudas, he's a former Panther, played for the team, left actually in free agency right before they won their back-to-back Stanley Cups. And he's kind of fallen off a cliff analytically wise. In his late 30s now, he can probably be like a number 7 defenseman for this team. I'm sure he's not going to sign for much more than like league minimum, maybe $1 million. So we'll see what these teams give each player with their contracts. And then the final deal is Nils Hoglander going to the Nashville Predators in exchange for a 2029 third-round pick that belonged to the Colorado Avalanche. Hoglander is a player who has fallen out of favor in Vancouver. I don't think Adam Foote was a big fan of him. Only had 5 points this season, barely played. His development was really mismanaged by the Canucks. Early in his career, he was looking like he was going to be a legitimate middle six, two-way winger who can provide you 40 points a season maybe. He had 24 goals during that magical 2024 season for the Canucks. However, he shot 20% and then cashed in on a contract making $3 million for 3 seasons, and he now has 2 years left on that deal. So a third-round pick is about fair value probably for him. You're selling him low. I don't hate it for Nashville because Hoglander, I think he has the potential to bounce back, become an effective middle six guy for this team. But on the other hand, like Nashville, they just keep adding middle-of-the-lineup players. They're kind of becoming the new Seattle. So maybe it works out, but my expectations would not be too high for Hoglander in Nashville. So that's going to do it for this video, just summarizing a few trades here. Let me know what you thought of these deals down below. Make sure to subscribe, stay tuned to the channel because I'm going to have my free agency predictions tomorrow and various other content will be on the channel. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.